Hey guys, Kane here, and in this video I'm going to explain how my formation works and why, for me personally, it is quite good. Now, I know there will be a lot of people with different opinions and different, let's say, comments and whatever, but at my current stage in the game, the formation does quite work. And essentially, in the future, I may be switching out because this formation may no longer work. Probably in like 1 to 2, maybe 3 million cores, or whenever I start facing a bit stronger people and I may require more heroes placed on the field. So, with that, how does this formation work? So, I have multiple healers on my field in terms of Vega, in terms of Turtle, and the Azure Dragon. But at the same time, I have Denji with a level 9 ability that if these Rakans would ail, they would heal for an incredible amount of health, which is scaled by stamina, and my Denji has about 200 stamina or something. At the same time, I have a couple of gladiators with possible healing. I have Virion with Astrarian Fati, which affects these two squads. And also I have Band of Bishop on my Virion as well as the Kitano. And in terms of Virion, I do require my Virion to stay alive as I have this level 9 buffing ability where if any of these armies enter morale boost, they get increased in damage reduction percent. And that is quite important the further on we will get into the formation. So I also have Hero Mastery, which is healing the variant for 5% health every few seconds or every second. And that is why I have placed a Band of Bishop on him. So I would have like Astrarian Fati healing these Blade Masters, but at the same time I would have Virion healing them with the Band of the Bishop as well. And that is why in majority of the fights, Virion ends up healing about 100 million, mainly because of those two things. And I really don't have the Warmaker's main or Hellguard artifacts at the moment because quite a while back I slowed down on spending on the game. Perhaps in the future, if I do continue, I will more or less focus mainly and only on artifacts. So that aside, my left side is always my burst side. And by burst, I mean the archer squads. They have so many buffs in here that I think it would amount to 7 or 8 buffs total on just these two squad of archers. And Avalon is one of the main buffers on these archers. So, for instance, the Avalon has the Warhorn ability, which is about 120% attack speed for a few seconds. Then I have what's this artifact called Tempering Charm on 5-star, which grants them a lot of buffs, which grants them an even special buff that on particular intervals, they do an AoE attack which deals like 30% of their damage in a very small AoE, something similar to that of a Rakan Ale explosions on the front line. And it does quite a lot of damage. The same time, I have Cleo with a couple of buffs on her, buffing these two squad of archers again. So as you could see, 3 buffs, 3 visual buffs popped on the Rakan archers. So whenever I place her here, you see this black aura, you see this little sword, let me show you again, see this little sword on them, which disappears, and then you have this red thing here. So the black aura is the Lich Key, which sort of grants them additional attack speed. Then you have this little sword, which is the Seraphic Ring, I do believe that's what it's called, which gives them 15% bonus damage, or additional damage. And then you have this red thing, which for some reason doesn't appear visually on these Rakan archers. it is a Degora's necklace, which grants, I think, 30% lifesteal, so it also helps with the healing on the archers as well. So more or less, these two squads are kind of severely overbuffed. Then I have Nora with level 9 Draconic Storm, as well as Flora's assisting her. Then I have the Yip, which also helps them do quite a bit of damage. And then I have Valerie, as you can see, hidden behind as well. And I usually proc her at like 10 seconds into the match or something, or maybe 15. All because I have a hero mastery which grants additional magic damage on her if any of the enemy is dead. So with that, I have Talk hidden behind the dragon, which almost never gets focused. My dragon is at the very center, and even if this dragon is tagged, this dragon doesn't die for like 30-40 seconds. Majority of the time, he just survives a minute, unless one of my sides just severely collapses, and usually that is because the enemy either focused literally everything on that side of the field, majority of his strongest artifacts and all that kind of stuff, or the person was just severely stronger in terms of core. And either way, in majority of those cases, you just lose anyway. Then we have Denji with the Valkyrie's banner buffing these two squads. At the same time, Denji is at a very safe position because majority of the people place their archers either on the left side fully or on the right side. Usually I don't see a lot of archers at the very center, so Denji almost never happens to die. Maybe once or twice in like 40-30 fights, something like that. So this placement for me is quite good. Then I have Saizo here. I don't want to place it in the back line because then I would need to place any of these heroes in the back line, and he's still a ranged unit and he doesn't happen to die almost at any given point unless these squads just fail miserably. So this placement for me on Saizo is quite safe. Then you have the healers, or rather Virion and a buffer, have Balrog, which is sort of like a debuffer as well. With the overall, he happens to tank quite decently as well. Then I have Mako buffing these two squads with Degora's necklace and the Seraphic ring, as you can see. Bazrik, just because I couldn't insert him on any of those positions at the moment. And if the enemy doesn't have a burst side here, usually having Bazrik on a stall side makes Bazrik able to clear that stall side and just by himself, as my Bazrik is mainly built for DPS. Then I have Gan buffing the turtle, increasing its health and also increasing its healing because the healing is based on the turtle's health. Then Elana in a pretty safe position, literally nobody is touching her here. And then I have Vega. So I pretty much explained my formation. So let me just show you something that happens in the fight. And why did I tell or keep telling people that Rufio in the backline is not always a good idea? And one of the main things as well, why do I have so much healing, is based on one of the skills here, which is the Earthen Shield. When a unit's health is above 70%, damage taken is reduced by 25%. That is why I also use Vega. Now, Vega doesn't technically heal quite a lot, at least on the front line. However, the game, or rather the battle, is not only about the front line, it's also about the archers, and the archers still get healed for a lot of health. So if we can see the healing done, Turtle is 260, Gitano is 100, Virion is 82, and as you can see, Vega is healing more than 0.9% of the dragon. So, like, you can see his Vega is healing friggin' like 200 million. The frick is on his Vega? He has 3. I have a 3-star Cilantris as well. So I think what he has on... Yeah, so I think he placed this boosted healing and a level 8 heal, and this heal is just insane. So I'm also sort of slowly leveling that heal as well, and perhaps I will also use it in the future. But basically for me, she's just a sort of a buffer and might and stamina hero sort of kind of thing. But again, like I said, a lot of healing is based on even the Vega, and she out heals the Azure Dragon. Now, Azure Dragon is both a buffer and a healer, but I still do require some healing. So there are varied fights in here. Some of them are kind of storms, some of them are not kind of storms, but essentially, as you can see, like the healing done, Vega majority of the time will always be more than the dragon. So I cannot really showcase how the Rufius work, except for one fight, which is against a little weaker core player, but he does have great mages on his team. So if we check the damage stats, you can see that both of his mages did an incredible amount of damage, and my Rakan archers did an incredible amount of damage. And he actually focused my archers, and as you can see, my archers still did quite a lot. So what I want to show and tell in this video as well is what the healing does for the field in terms of what I have. Again, see the Vega and see the Azure Dragon. So going into the fight, I'm going to slow down the speed of the fight to 0.5 so we can check, because it's hard to check both sides without it. So at the bottom, you will see my Rakan archers, one squad, and at the top, you will see the other squad. So he's going to focus these squads of archers with Avril at the very bottom, and he is focusing the top ones with both Rufio and Valerie. So as you can see, they are damaged quite a lot, both of these squads. But the healing is so friggin' insane that it just heals out majority of the damage. However, with the Rufio, they managed to kill, I think, half of those archers, but recently Rufio just died. Just because the Rufio jumped, and then he became a morale boost on 3 squads, and his top side started falling just because of that. And this squad damaged by 2 Valerie Blizzards. Look at their health now. And that is what I mean. Vega is still healing. Turtle's regeneration, I think, finished not too long ago. And then I activated Rakan Ale when they were very low, and all of them just topped up fully. And pretty much just outlasted and outsustained them by the amount of healing that I have. Now again, he was a weaker player. This wasn't to show like the amount of strength I have over him or whatever. This was just to show the kind of healing that I have, and also Rufio's jumping into the backline. His Rufio jumped, he got hit, and he entered that Flora's invincibility, and a couple of seconds after that, he just became a morale boost on archers. Morale boost adds, I think, 50% damage reduction from Virion, which I always try to keep alive in terms of hero mastery and the other stuff, and attack speed and all that kind of stuff, and the archers just become insane. So pretty much you can see how my formation is working and why it is working. On 8.1 million core, I am almost a 4,000 dual tower points. Now you have to keep in mind that I do not have any pay to win artifact above 3 star. And because I don't have any pay-to-win artifact above 3-star, not even Warmaker's Main or Hellguard, which are insanely tanky for stall sides, this is quite an achievement and quite a decent feat. So if I would get those two artifacts, I would probably easily reach over 4,000. Now, there are a lot of people that can reach this with less core power. I'm not saying that I am a very good player or whatever, because the amount of money I spent on this game was at the very beginning, and recently they changed some of those packs to make people to get 5-star artifacts easier, so some people, even who spent less on the game, will be able to have more in the game at the current moment than majority of the others who spent a decent amount prior to that updated pack. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and stay safe out there.